destroy and jail. That was the order of the day. Now, who will win in those cases? No one will win, not Grenada. Certainly not the National Democratic Congress, not the New National Party. We are all losers. Obama's president stood. He works with Bush in the transition. In the process, with Grenada, what we're doing is trying to destroy. You do not win by destruction. And I've never known in my short life so far anyone who attains success by destroying another person. You attain success by your own vision, your hard work and sacrifice. That is what I'm convinced that how you build, my friends. And I hope. I say this today not because when I talk like this, maybe the government might adjust. But if they adjust, it's to the power of the people of the country. And I don't really worry about that. Because I'm not interested in power for myself or the New National Party. I'm interested in power for the people of the country. So if the NDC can adjust to provide good governance and rebuild the country, I say all power to the NDC and to the people of Grenada. As I said, I've had 13 years and I'm a fortunate man. And you are, the supporters, should feel fortunate that your record will stand tall no matter what happens. So that should be the priority. So I've spoken to both of you, my friends. I also just want to say this, because as I told you, I won't be long. We've had opportunities, despite the problems in the world. Grenada could have been in a path of serious opportunity. We've had 6 major projects that the NNP brought to Grenada that could have had enormous impact on the economic life of the country. The government inherited that. Instead of attempting to use the platform to build, and thereby creating opportunities for themselves and the country, they started on a path of harassing those investors. The most major one, and the worst one, was our own Formula World Champion, Lewis Hamilton. Those of you who know about Lewis Hamilton would know, as BBC and Time Magazine said not long ago, just 3 weeks ago, that he will be the first sports billionaire. This man had a contract with the former government to buy over Grand Beach, renovate to the tune of $150 million in investment, improving Grand Beach, because you know the problem there, and to build an additional hotel alongside Grand Beach, because you know the size of that property, to the tune of $200 million US. He was going to sign a contract, as he did, to promote Grenada around the world. Imagine Lewis Hamilton wearing Grenada's name on his cap or whatever, and around the world. Lewis Hamilton ranks with the Tiger Woods and so on. The government came in, and instead of trying to use that platform, they went on a witch hunt and said that Lewis Hamilton was in a corrupt deal with Keith Mitchell and the Governor General. And this man doesn't need this. He doesn't need that penny in Grenada, because his contracts that he has with the Formula One club, Hamilton team, is £200 million, just a flat contract a year. And every race he wins, another £100 million involved. And such a man you're talking about in corruption. So the deal is now basically gone. Lewis Hamilton is an annoyed and upset person with Grenada. And he was spending that resources only because he wanted to build something in Grenada as a monument for his grandfather, who is a Grenadian, and his father, who is Grenadian. See my dear sister from St. John shaking her head, because his grandfather and father is from Mount Pleasant, Grand Roy in St. John's. And the family was extremely upset. And they upset the British government, and people around the world. Because when they sent in investigators and the British BBC and others came to Grenada and investigated, they found there was absolutely no evidence whatsoever. And what is worse, while the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Peter David, and Attorney General in London, saying that the government was wrong and there was no corruption, other ministers were on television at the same time saying there was corruption. In other words, the government is speaking in so many different tongues. No one will know what. In other words, if you talk to one minister today and he tells you one thing, you don't know what the cabinet will decide because another minister will say something else. So they lost that one. The gentleman who did that major development, the Savary in Lagoon, they attacked him so much. He's totally fed up. He's now selling out. He had to rebuild. If those of you who know Bishop's former office, the Islander, 200-bedroom hotel, he's done with that. He had to build a smaller hotel, 50-room, down at the bottom where he reclaimed some land. He's finished with that. So the only thing that is going on there now is the marina, and a lot of Grenadians are getting jobs there, but there would have been thousands more jobs and opportunity. The major hotel, in those of you who know, in St. David's, the Grand Bacalet project, Bacalet Bay project, there's over 1,000 rooms. That is on hold. That's going nowhere because the people are absolutely mad with the attack. Some elements of the party on them. The Livera project by Mr. Taylor, that again is on hold because of further attacks by elements within the government, and so on and so on. My friends, the point I'm making is, those of you who have any connection with this government, tell them to stop it. They are thus destroying themselves and destroying the opportunities for Grenada and creating a sense of hopelessness in the country. And we don't need this in a time of already economic problems in the world as a whole. We don't need this. So my friends, I make this point to say this further. And this is what leadership is about. Those of you in business, or if you're in business, you're in academic, wherever you are, the first thing you have to do in anything you're doing in leadership is to provide hope, no matter what the condition is. If a man feels there is no hope, he thinks of suicide. But if he believes things are tough, but down the corner things will turn, Obama is telling the nation, no matter how hard things are, we are going to make it. That's his message. Just stand with me and implement my program. It's not going to come overnight. We're not going to sell any sweet roses overnight. But let's work together. Let's build a country. We will make it. America will stand tall again. And I'm convinced Grenada will stand tall again. But we have to get our act together. So my final point, my friends, to say thank you for getting together. We are, as a party, it's a heavy sacrifice for a lot of people who are out of government. Some of them have no work. And in a time of viciousness, where people are being fired left, right, and center, they have to find hope. It's tough. But that's what life is all about. It says when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Is that the phrase? And I think that's what it's all about. But your support is absolutely needed. As for me, as a final point, I'm doing a number of things. I told people don't worry too much about me. I'm writing, doing my memoirs, and of course I'm